What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, man? What's going on? What's cracking? What's all that? What up, man? Get up in here, get up in here. Now, as you get in here, make sure you hit that like button, man. That's very important, man, in what we doing today. Now, let's see who we got in the house. I'm going to be shouting out y'all cities. Y'all make sure y'all rack up them likes so we can send them alerts out and let people know we got some topics that we got to discuss today, y'all. All right, so who we got in the house? Looks like we had Baltimore in here early, man. And I appreciated, man, I can't pronounce your name. That very first comment, this channel live, and I ain't talking about no rap group either. I appreciate it, bro. For real, man. What up, B-More? What up, what up? Let's get it, man. Let's get it, let's get it. Who else we got in the house? What up? We got Charlotte in the building. What's up? What's up? Italian beef session. Yeah. Italian beef and Pepsi session, right? Word to Lil J, you know what I mean? Or to King Lil J, right? Richmond, Virginia, what's up, yo? What up, Slim Worldwide? What up? What up, West Point, Georgia, man? What's up, man? What you in the academy? What up? Portland, Jamaica for the check-in, always was cracking, man. Fort Wayne, Indiana in the building. What's up, DMV? What up, Philly? What's up, man? What up, Broward County? That 954. What up, East Oakland? What up, East St. Louis, man? Y'all coming in here dangerous. East Oakland and East St. Louis. Both of those is, back in the day at least I know, man, they used to be, whoo, you know what I mean? All right, I see y'all getting in here. As you get in here, make sure you hit that like button, man. Let's run them likes up. Let's run them up. What up, Naptown? What's up, man? Fayetteville, North Carolina. I see you. Don't think I don't. South Florida. What up, South Florida? What part of South Florida? Because South Florida, I've heard South Florida described as a lot of area in Florida. You know what I'm saying? Some people have even said from Tampa down. I was like, nah, it's a little too far. You know what I mean? Naptown, what's up? Savannah, GA, what's up? What up, London? What's up? Bait, Nate, what's up, man? What up, what up? Detroit in the building. What's up, D-Town? Pennsylvania, repping for the whole state. I see you, Portland, Jamaica. What up, Belize? What's up, man? From across the, well, that ain't even across the pond. That's in the same, well, that's in a different continent, but I get you, man. What up, Belize? Atlanta, what's up? Philadelphia, what's up, man? Y'all do me a favor. As you get in here, rack them likes up. We should have about 150 likes right now so we can send out them alerts. Let them know we got some hot topics to talk about. And the very first thing we're going to talk about, obviously, is is Bankroll Freddie, man. We're going to talk about Bankroll Freddie for a second. Then we're going to get into talking about DJ Quik and his son, man. This is crazy. Yo, when you hear this news report from the story, you're going to be like, what in the world? Then we're going to go back and talk some more about KSOO and his dad allegedly testifying against him. And I don't even know if we should say alleged because it's in the case file now. You know, he's testifying on behalf of the state. I don't know what he's going to say, but he responded, and KSOO has responded to this, you know what I mean, to the news story. And then finally, we're going to talk about Fredo Bang out here doing the most when it comes to dissing, man. And some of you might already know what I'm talking about, man. What up, Baltimore? So let me get a couple more of these shout-outs out here, man, before we kick this thing off official. But y'all do me a favor. Make sure y'all run up them likes. Make sure we hit that like button, right? What up, Baltimore? What up, Philadelphia? I see you, Duval County. I see you, Fayetteville, North Carolina. What up? What up, Short, Texas? Yeah, we're going to keep the shout-outs short today, man. We're no 10 minutes of shout-outs. We're going to keep it real short. You know what I mean? What up, Indianapolis? What up, St. Louis? London, what up from across the pond? I see B-More. I see Memphis, Tennessee 2 times. Boston, 617. Tucson, Arizona, what up? What up to Fayetteville, North Carolina, what up? Birmingham, Alabama. ATL in the building. I see you, Belize. Baton Rouge, Duval County. Haiti. I see Orlando. I see we got Meridian, Mississippi. St. Louis, Tucson. North Birmingham, Alabama. I say North. St. Louis again. Portland, Jamaica. Fayetteville. And Naptown 317. I see Tucson. And who else we got? Aberdeen, Mississippi. Where's that? Huh? Aberdeen, Mississippi. Interesting, man. I see Tucson again. I see Louisiana in the house. Somebody repping for the whole state. So, all right, man. I'm going to keep the shout out short, but y'all do me a favor. Make sure y'all run them likes up for your boy. Hit that like button so we can get this thing started. I'm going to just shout out a couple more cities. What up, Orlando? I see you, Palm Beach. Pennsylvania, Philly to be exact. I see you, Baton Rouge, Boston. What up? What up? What up? Aberdeen again. I see Tucson again. I see Connecticut, Birmingham, Alabama, Riverside, California, Waterboro, South Carolina. What's up, man? Pittsburgh, PA, West Chicago, Illinois, and the 808, Tacoma, Washington, Florida, Florence, South Carolina, 412 Pittsburgh, Birmingham. All right, man, let's get this thing started. All right, y'all do me a favor. Keep shouting out your cities in the chat, and as I see them, I'm going to try to get to them as soon as possible, like immediately. You know what I mean? But y'all make sure y'all hit that like button so that way we can get this thing started. So, all right, this is what we're going to talk about again for those who are just showing up. Now, we're going to start off by obviously talking about Bankroll Freddie, as you see in that background, man. You see him flexing the jewels or whatnot, right? Then we're going to get to this crazy news story about DJ Quik and his son. Now, DJ Quik being a famed producer, you know what I'm saying, from Compton, really, as a rapper, he was cold. He was one of the nicest. At that time, he was one of the nicest. Just the way that maybe his part of being a DJ and a producer helped in that, because the way he would get on those beats, amazing, man. And then we're going to talk about KSOO. I know they've been beating this story to death, man, to be honest with you. But, man, there's been a new revelation, man. So KSOO has spoken out through his attorneys about the rumors that his dad is snitching on him, you know what I mean? Testifying against him and all that. He came out to talk about that, right? And now he has something to say. And then we're going to talk about also the rapper's reaction. I did a whole video about Boosie talking about it, but 50 Cent also wanted to chime in. And then finally, we're going to end on Fredo Bang, man. Fredo Bang out here wilding. Like, if anybody knows what's up and knows what I'm getting to, I'm talking about he out here doing the most with the ops and they familiars. We'll say it like that. Now, before we get to the whole story and start off with Bankroll Freddie, what I want to do is make sure that I go ahead and play this intro for y'all so we can keep it official, like a ref with a whistle, right? So let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. So today, we're going to be talking about Bankroll Freddie. So let's discuss Bankroll Freddie. Now, Bankroll Freddie is a rapper originally from Arkansas, I believe, right? And he was arrested, out there about a month ago, like April time frame. And there was a lot going on when he got arrested. He was facing a lot of time. It wasn't looking good because it was allegedly the feds that was on Bankroll Freddie. Now, Bankroll Freddie is a rapper with QC. Now, QC, they've got a huge roster. It's slimmed down over time, but it seems like their artists seem to be successful regardless, right? Like, Bankroll Freddie was on that path, and I would always get Bankroll Freddie mixed up with the dude who signed to CMG that looks similar to him, man. Like, they dress the same, everything, the jewels and all that, man. And I was like, Bankroll Freddie stood out to me is because he signed to QC. That's what made him stand out. The fact that QC took the time to sign him, and he had a hit song with Lil Baby and Young Dolph on the same track, man. Killed it, man. You know what I mean? And dude was putting on for Arkansas until he got locked up. Now, the news story that recently dropped is Bankroll Freddie is free. He's out of jail. These are not his woes anymore. And it looks like he might have a possibility to beat this thing. Now, I'm going to be referencing a story from allhiphop.com and where they talk about this situation with Bankroll Freddie and, his recent arrest. So let's look at that headline real quick. All right, so in the headline, it says this. It says, Bankroll Freddie wins freedom under strict conditions after huge drug/gun bust. Now, what they're referring to is the arrest that took place last month. Now, I did a video about that, and we talked about Bankroll Freddie and how it looked pretty bad for him, man. But the tone that this story has is that, man, there might be some hope. So let's get to it. So the story starts off by saying this. It says, rapper Bankroll Freddie won his freedom from jail and the clutches of the FBI after he was busted with an arsenal of weapons and 21 pounds of the green stuff, and you know what I mean. It's legal in some states and not in others, man. So Bankroll Freddie was looking like he was hemmed up. 21 pounds is a lot. You're always going to get an extra charge or distribution type charges when it comes to that amount. You know what I mean? Especially if you're in a state where it's not fully illegal and you can't prove it. Even though, in states that it's fully legal. That's a lot. That's a lot. You better be moving it to the places that sell it and stuff like that, right? Now, the weapons as well. That's a tough one. Now, the story continues by saying this. The legal drama for Bankroll Freddie started at April 14th when he was traveling through West Memphis, Arkansas. Now, that's a part of Arkansas that shares the borderline with Memphis. And at that time, he was arrested. And let's go ahead and bring up his arrest record from that story. All right, there we go right there. There goes his mugshot and all that. All right. Now, the story also says this. The cops caught the rapper speeding in a Chevy Silverado with dealership plates and initiated a traffic stop. Now, what's crazy is, okay, all right, man, I hate to do this, but it's common sense. If you got all that stuff on you, all those weapons, all that stuff, right? All that green stuff and all that, right? 21 pounds worth. Why in the world are you speeding? Wouldn't it make more sense to be just fit in with everybody else and just go the speed limit? Now, I'm not trying to encourage anybody to do any crimes or anything like that. So don't get me wrong, man. But wouldn't it just make more sense? You're already in a non-conspicuous car. Like a Chevy Silverado, I'm pretty sure he had a topper on there or whatever. And, he could probably blend in just by going the speed limit. You know what I mean? By speeding, he gets automatically pulled over. And that's where all the drama comes. Now, during the search of the truck, the cops found a loaded micro Draco AK-47 style pistol in the front passenger seat, under some clothing and a bag, a polymer 89 Glock clone handgun and no serial number, and $33,000 worth of cash in the center console. So it looks like he had 3 different weapons, right? And it looks like one of them had, 2 different weapons. And it looks like one of them didn't have a serial number on them. That's a bad sign anyway. I think that's serious time right there. Like they catch you with a weapon with no serial number on it. And then he had $33,000 worth of cash. Man, he out here wilding, dog. just from all that together. Like when he got pulled over, they probably looked at him like, man, what in the world? Like we got all this cash, we got all these guns, and we got all this green stuff. You know what I mean? So basically, what is you up to, dude? Like, what's to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you speeding? Like, okay, man, let me continue. Now, the story continues by saying this. It says they also found a duffel bag with 21.4 pounds of high grade in the back seat and 7 magazines, including 5 extended clips located throughout the vehicle. Bankroll Freddie was wilding it, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is all alleged. Like, just because they say it was found on him doesn't mean that it's true. Everybody's innocent until proven guilty. But allegedly, man, Bankroll Freddie was out here wilding, y'all. Wilding. Now, after some resistance, Bankroll Freddie was placed in a squad car and hauled off into Cretin County Jail. The following day, the arresting officer found a Glock switch, which turns the weapon into a machine gun, in the backseat of his car where the rapper was sitting. Man, so he had all them drugs, 21.4 pounds. All them weapons, AK-47 style micro Draco, and then the 9 Glock, right? And then they found switches on him? Yeah, man, it was looking like Bankroll Freddie's goose was cooked, man. It looked like your boy was cooked, to be honest with you. So this got to be one serious situation for him to get up out of this, right? So let's continue. Now it says, during a hearing, Bankroll Freddie's bodyguard, Avery LeVar Campbell, testified that the Draco found in the truck was his and left there from a previous trip. Of course it was. I mean, I'm not saying that that's not true. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, his bodyguard took credit for that weapon. Said it was him. He left it in there from like a long time ago when he had the truck, right? Because the Chevy Silverado is a truck, right? Now, Campbell also testified, this is the bodyguard, that the polymer 9mm belonged to a member of Bankroll Freddie's entourage named Braxton Green, who died in September 2021. So that guy, Braxton Green, he had the weapon in the car, and he passed away, and he's not even here to tell y'all about it, man. That's messed up, right? Now, Bankroll Freddie is part owner of a car dealership in North Little Rock. According to Campbell, numerous people have access to the Chevy Silverado, and the guns did not belong to Bankroll Freddie. Now they building that alibi of reasons why it didn't belong to him. I mean, and obviously they was going for it. Now, And I'm not saying that this isn't the truth. It might be the truth, you know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead. The rapper was indicted on 3 charges. Bankroll Freddie is charged with possession with intent to distribute with the green stuff, possession of a machine gun, and possession of firearms in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. You know what I mean? So he was looking at some hefty charges right there, man. So he's talking about possession with intent to distribute, possession with a machine gun, which is usually jumped up federal, right? And then possession, firearms in furtherance of a drug trafficking crime. So it was looking like he was going to be locked up for a long time. You know what I mean? Now, the most severe charge, count 3, is punishable by not less than 30 years in prison. Yes, you heard me right. 30 years in prison. Now, on May 18th, Bankroll Freddie, born Freddie D. Gladney III, appeared with his counsel, Ricky Hicks, for a bond hearing. The court ruled that despite being in possession of guns, Bankroll Freddie has no felony convictions and does not have a history of violence, and therefore poses no risk to the community. So having a clean record saved Bankroll Freddie, man. It actually helped him in this situation, and that might actually help him in the long run. He has no violent offenses and no felonies, so all minor stuff, you know what I mean? And when I say minor, I mean minimal stuff, you know what I mean? Let's keep it funky, you know what I mean? Now, in quotes, it goes on to say his family and community ties combined with his very public career makes it unlikely that he will attempt to flee. Instead, he has every incentive to comply with his release conditions so that he may continue working, ruled Judge Eddie Irvin. So the judge was like, okay, this dude isn't a flight risk. He's never even had a violent crime offense or anything like that. He's pretty much got a clean record. The chances of him being a flight risk are not likely because he's a rapper. We'll be able to find him easy, super easy. If you don't believe me, check the scoreboard, man. It ain't too hard to find a rapper, man. You know what I mean? It ain't too hard to tell on a rapper. It ain't too hard to get the goods and the information on the rapper. Now, according to his paperwork, Bankroll Freddie will be released to custody of his bodyguard, Avery Lamar Campbell, with whom he will live. Campbell is much more than security for quality control rapper. He serves as a youth pastor at Anatoch Baptist, and he is a veteran of the United States military, having completed 2 tours in Iraq and 1 in Afghanistan. So it seems like he got a stand-up guy that he's going to be shackled to during the time that this is going on. So while he's on bond, the bodyguard is the guy he's going to have to stay with because this dude has a shining record. He was a military vet and all that. You know what I'm saying? Salute, dude. Now, Bankroll Freddie has some strict conditions if he expects to remain free. Bankroll Freddie must do these things. He must abide by an 11 o'clock p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew. So, meaning between those times, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., he has to be in the crib. You know what I mean? He has to be at his residence, so at the bodyguard's house. And what makes that tough is the fact that he's a rapper. Only daytime shows for Bankroll Freddie. You know what I mean? He can only do things like at festivals and stuff like that, and you got to book him early. And he got to be back at the crib early, man. So that could hurt his pockets in the long run because a lot of rappers, especially you Atlanta rapper, things don't get cracking off there sometimes until like 2, 3. That's when all the rappers walk in sometimes, right? Now, it also says that he must refrain from excessive drinking and smoking, any of the green stuff, you know what I mean? And he has to avoid associating with felons. Now, that's the tricky part, man. That's where he could get caught up real quick because by the times that he's allowed out during the day, and he's lucky because he's allowed to be out during the day, according to this, right? Like, just meeting up with one of his homeboys that has a prior felony conviction could get him jammed up and sent back to jail. So he has to avoid all felons. That's wild. It's going to be easier. That's easier said than done. Most people don't know that. The rapper is free to record in the studio and make videos, but while he is creating videos, Bankroll Freddie may not use any guns, including prop guns, or illegal substances. So he can't have any type of illegal substances or any type of trap video. All his videos got to look like they came out, they got to be clean cut. You know what I mean? And we've seen rappers who come from more of the street culture and stuff like that drop clean cut videos before. You know what I mean? Especially when they get to a certain level. Because look at Gucci Mane and look at Yo Gotti. Like in their videos, you don't see a whole bunch of drugs and stuff like that. Number one, they're older dudes. And then number two, you still get to have ladies in your video and stuff like that. You just can't have no guns or anything wild, right? Now, however, the judge allowed Bankroll Freddie to continue to tour so long as it is at an actual concert venue. But he's barred from attending any after parties. Now that's catchy. So does that mean, I'm wondering if that means he could break the curfew if he's allowed to tour and he's at an actual concert venue. That's what it sounds like. And if it does, if that's true, that saves his career. Now, Bankroll Freddie is promoting the release of his newest album, From the Trap to Rap 2, and it looks like, man, that's where this story leaves off. Now, Bankroll Freddie, for the most part, man, I like dude, man. Like his style, keeps it clean. It seems like he got jammed up in a situation here, out in Arkansas, or, in Memphis or whatnot. But I don't know. I think that in the long run, in the long scheme of things, this could be a blip in the road, and the fact that he doesn't have any prior convictions and things like that might save him at the end of the day. You know what I mean? It looks like it did save him in this case. And as long as he keeps booking concerts, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. Now, with that, let's move on to our next story, man. And you guys tell me in the comments and in the chat what you think about this whole Bankroll Freddie situation. Is he done, or is there a balance because of how strict that his restrictions are in this bond? Like, he can't have anything wild, but he can still operate and move out there, man. All right? Now, with that, make sure you hit that like button as well, man. Everybody, make sure you hit that like button. We hurting. We should be at about 500 likes, so go ahead and run them likes up. And let's continue to our next story, which is crazy, man. We're going to talk about this DJ Quik situation, man, and his son, which is wild. So let's do this is proper due justice and bring up some DJ Quik. There we go. The legend, okay? And let's do this. Let's bring up a picture. There you go. All right, man. So let's move on to DJ Quik. Now, with that, man, this is a crazy, crazy, crazy story, right? Now, DJ Quik, for those of you who don't know, is a rapper who originates and comes from Compton. Now, Compton, California is where he calls his home. He even had a song that was a hit called Just Like Compton, where he paid respects to other places, like to other cities throughout the United States that were just as tough as Compton, man. Some of the cities that he named were St. Louis, Denver, I think San Antonio, and he made it a point for it to be cities that weren't talked about much. You know what I'm saying? But he let it be known that, just because Compton is tough doesn't mean that these other places aren't as well. Now, he grew through fame and ended up rising in the rap career and became a famed producer. Like, he's helped and been an associate producer on a lot of projects that most people don't realize. Like, he worked on Jay-Z's The Black Album Project and things of that nature. And he's also done big, when I say big, I'm talking about big things in the hip hop game in regards to like being a producer, like working with Dr. Dre and all that, man. And I just want to give him his propers, man, before we get into this story, because I like DJ Quik. I think his flow is ill. I think him as a beat maker, he doesn't get enough credit. And he's brought a lot of people into the rap game that should probably, come out and show him his respects at certain times. Now let's talk about his son now. Now DJ Quik has a son. It's pretty much a grown man. There ain't even no pretty much to it, man. His son is a grown man. But his son recently got arrested. Now, he got arrested for the shooting death of a city councilman. Yes, I'm talking about an elected official. Now, his son is 27 years old, and it seems like there was some sort of altercation that took place. And I'm going to be referencing this story also from allhiphop.com that talks about this. Now, in the headline of the story, it says this, or at least let me bring up this headline of the story. Now, in this headline, you see son of rapper DJ Quik, who works as a Compton council liaison, booked on suspicion of murder. Now, he was actually working for the elected official, the council member, right? And he was booked on suspicion of murder. So that, let's say alleged. It's not definite that he did it or definite that he did. You know what I mean? So we gotta give him his leeway. But this is wild because you would think, okay, DJ Quik came out a while ago and he's been kind of behind the scenes as a producer, but he was the executive producer on a lot of albums, And his son seemed to be living kind of like a famed lifestyle. You know, he kind of had it on Easy Street a little bit. And I don't know him personally, but that's what it looked like from the outside looking in. So the fact that he would run up into a situation where he's working for a councilman as a liaison, you know, like an elected official, and he ends up shooting him and killing him, that is wild. Now, allegedly shooting him and killing him. Not saying that he did it. You know what I mean? Let's clear that up. But, man, let's actually look at a news story from the Compton News locally there that talked about this situation right here.
A liaison to embattled Compton City Councilman Isaac Galvan was arrested Thursday on murder charges. Downey police say 27-year-old David Marvin Blake opened fire during a fight at a home on Carfax Avenue Wednesday night, killing 33-year-old Julio Cardoza. Blake was arrested hours after the shooting in Porter Ranch.
I work for the city of Compton, believe it or not. I work for a councilman named Isaac Galvan.
Blake is also a rapper and producer and is the son of iconic Compton hip-hop artist DJ Quik, seen here in these 2018 Twitter photos with Compton Councilman Galvan. We reached out to Galvan's office for comment but have been unable to reach him. A brief statement from the city of Compton said in part, quote, "The city is shocked to find out about this incident." This afternoon, Compton Mayor Emma Sharif spoke with NBC4 at an event.
As a matter of fact, I don't have any information on that at this time.
Would you what the status is?
I have no idea. I have no comment on that because I don't have the information.
All right, so let's talk about that news clip real quick. So it looks like the councilman for like District 2 in Compton, his name is Isaac Galvan. You saw him pictured there with even DJ Quik and DJ Quik's son. And you saw DJ Quik's son was on some sort of interview platform or whatever and was telling him like, yo, I work for Compton City Councilman right now. Like I work for him, you know what I mean? And it looks like this was some sort of tragic situation that led to a fight and a councilman ended up getting shot. You don't hear that a lot. You know, people know that you mess with an elected official even slightly. You know, it's like the full force of the law and everything comes down on you. You know what I mean? You might have even heard that in The Wire. Remember there was a scene where Stringer Bell got played by a councilman or an elected official, and they was like, and he wanted to get some action. And Avon Barksdale was like, ain't no way in the world. Nobody you know, understand, or could even comprehend the kind of heat that comes down from something like that. Now, I'm not saying this was any type of elaborate scheme, setup, or anything of that nature. It's just wild anytime you hear something like that, bruh. Like an elected official getting shot and killed, and dude was relatively young. So let's actually get into the story of this too, man. And I'm going to keep that headline up there just for y'all to reference. But in the story, it starts off by saying this, man. Now it says, DJ Quik's son arrested for suspicion of murder after a fight leads to gunplay and death. Now, I don't know why a fight can't just be a fight no more. I mean, I get it. Let me not sound like a goofy, you know what I mean? Because I know everybody will be in the chat saying that. But, man, there was a time where cats would just get and it's not like people don't just, you know, get their fight on and leave it there, you know, anymore. Like, that still happens majority of the time. It's just the times we do hear about it leading to gunplay is when it breaks the news. You know, those fights where it's just people fighting probably right now. You never hear about it, you know what I mean? Now, it also says this. It says, DJ Quik is dealing with some serious family drama after his son was arrested for alleged involvement in a murder earlier this week. The legendary producer/rapper's son, David M. Blake Jr., has been booked on suspicion of murder. The Downey, California Police Department has confirmed. The 27-year-old worked as a council liaison for Compton City Councilman Isaac Galvan. According to police, Blake was involved in an altercation with a 33-year-old named Julio Cardoza on Wednesday, May 25th. The fight escalated to gunplay, and Cardoza was rushed to the hospital with a gunshot wound to the chest. He later succumbed to the injury. Now, David M. Blake Jr. is currently being held on a $2 million bond. Now, what's crazy is, I thought that reading the story and listening to the story, it made it seem like the councilman was the one who got shot. But according to this, it seems like the councilman was just involved in the fight. So let me continue, man. Let's continue through this. Now it says David Blake Jr. is currently being held on a $2 million bond. David Blake Jr. briefly took up a career rapping like his famous father. He dropped several videos and songs under the moniker D. Blake. Unfortunately, this is not the first serious family drama DJ Quik has faced involving his children. Quik's daughter, Davinia Marlena Blake, was charged over the tragic death of his grandson in Phoenix, Arizona in 2013. In the incident, DJ Quik's daughter, boyfriend, Darnell Moses Alvarez, disciplined the child and I ain't even going to get into that, man. Let me stop. Now, Tavinia Blake was charged with first. All right. So they're talking about a story that has nothing to do with this, but I'm still left a little confused because y'all listen to this news clip for me real quick. And man, maybe I'm reading too much into this or read it incorrectly, but I thought that they said that the councilman had also been shot or something like that. It looks like maybe just this Cardoza guy was the one who was shot and not the councilman. So let's check this out.
A liaison to embattled Compton City Councilman Isaac Galvan was arrested Thursday on murder charges. Downey police say 27-year-old David Marvin Blake opened fire during a fight at a home on Carfax Avenue Wednesday night, killing 33-year-old Julio Cardoza. Blake was arrested hours after the shooting in Porter Ranch.
I work for the city of Compton, believe it or not. I work for a councilman named Isaac Galvan.
Blake is also a rapper and producer and is the son of iconic Compton hip-hop artist DJ Quik, seen here in these 2018 Twitter photos with Compton Councilman Galvan. We reach out to Galvan's office for comment but have been unable to reach him. A brief statement from the city of Compton said in part, quote, "The city is shocked to find out about this incident." This afternoon, Compton Mayor Emma Sharif spoke with NBC4 at an event.
As a matter of fact, I don't have any information on that at this time.
Would you what the status is?
I have no idea. I have no comment on that because I don't have the information.
Okay. Now that does clear it up a little bit more, man. So it seems like the guy Cardoza was the one who got shot. And the argument and everything involved a councilman's liaison being DJ Quik's son. So it looks like the councilman is all right. So I don't want that out there because I guess that would make sense. Because if a councilman or something like that was hit up or something like that, it'd be national news. It'd be on CNN and all that, right? People don't fight, they get shot. I see y'all in the chat. Regardless, it's a crazy situation. And it compounds the situation that DJ Quik still has going on currently with his daughter. You know what I'm saying? So now he has his son who's awaiting trial and will be in court next week, they say, and we'll see how this works. And it seemed like dude was trying to be a rapper and have a legit job working for a councilman. But I don't know, man. DJ Quik is just getting a lot thrown at him. Now, later on in the story, they talk about the fact that DJ Quik and neither did the councilman's office respond to any questions about the situation, and everybody's waiting to see how this thing plays out in court. So we'll leave it right there. You know what I mean? Not many times you get to do a DJ Quik story, but we'll be monitoring this situation and see how it happens or what happens with him and his son, right? All right. So let's get on to our next topic, right? Our next topic we are going to talk about is KSOO. Now, KSOO has been in the news a lot lately. Now, for those of you who don't know, KSOO is a rapper from Jacksonville, Florida. He gained fame as allegedly being a part of a group called ATK. And that group is being looked at as a gang now, so I don't want to say that he's a member or anything like that. Even though even in the background there, you can see him with ATK chains. Now, KSOO was allegedly really active in the streets. Now, he had been arrested for 2 murders and had been brought up on charges of first-degree murder in one of the indictments. One of those is being the shooting death of another rapper by the name of Lil Buck. By the name of Lil Buck. There we go. And in that case, his dad was initially looked at as one of the suspects afterwards, or in the case, right? Now, news kicked off last week that his dad was going to testify against him on the state's behalf. Now, these are the official news stories that came out with this information, right? So everybody within the hip-hop community went crazy, myself included, because this is the very first time anybody has ever heard that before. That somebody's dad was out here testifying against them in a first-degree murder trial, knowing that the penalties for that is only 2 things: life in jail or death if found guilty. You know what I mean? And it just looked bad. You had Boosie come out and talk about it. Boosie basically was like, yo, man, he was pleading to his dad in a post on Instagram. I did a whole video, check it out. where he's like, yo, man, what are you doing, dog? Don't testify against your own son. You know, this is crazy. Like, don't do this. And regardless of the fact, you know, the story stays the same and remains the same. And it looks like there were 3 different instances in the discovery where he's made statements on behalf of the state in this case. Now, initially, everybody was like shaking their head like, man, this is a shame. You know, a father testifying against his son. Like, it don't get no worse than that. But it looked like, you know, KSOO's dad wasn't hearing any of that. But come to find out, he was hearing all of that because he took to social media and he made a post of his own, or had somebody make a post on his behalf, according to the blogs that's out there, and made this response right here. So let's go over this response because I really, really want to delve deep into this, man. Really, really do. You know what I mean? Because still, from my point of view, you know, it seems a little off, right? Y'all tell me if I'm tripping. Like, most people, and man, I'm not trying to pass any type of judgment. Most people would take the time for their kid. You know, would be like, nah, I live my life. My kid didn't do it. I did it, type of deal. You know, I've talked about this with numerous people. But in this situation, it seems, I'm not saying he is, allegedly that he's throwing his son under the bus at a time where he might need his support, you know? Because you did play a role in how KSOO turned out. Let's be for real. You could have ushered them boys into playing sports and all that. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to judge, man. I don't want to judge. So let me leave that alone. But let's break this down. So this post says that KSOO's dad speaks on him testifying against his son. And it was put out by this post by this page right here. It says HOP CEO, right? Now, I don't know if this is for certain. This just was traveling around the blogs, right? And it says, if it was me, this is allegedly KSOO's dad talking. Says, if it was me and my daddy, in parentheses, Shaka, RIP, I'm guessing that was his dad's, either his street name or either his own, I guess KSOO's granddad's name. And he said, in a situation like this, I would have been freed my daddy a long time ago, no matter what my consequences would have been. Also, in parentheses, no justification needed. So he's saying if he was in KSOO's shoes, he would have freed his dad, no ifs, ands, buts about it. He would show his loyalty to his father by freeing him. Now, it also goes on to say, especially if he's a good/great daddy, that part. He could do more for me out of jail than in jail/prison. Who leave their daddy in jail to rot? Now, this sounds like, I don't know, man. This sounds backwards to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep it real with me in the comments and in the chat. It sounds backwards. It seems like that's something that the son would say to the dad. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like he feels like KSOO's doing him wrong in this situation. And I don't know, man. So let's continue. He says, especially when you know he innocent. I would have been stood up and said, my daddy ain't got thing to do with nothing. So I had to edit there a little bit, or pause a little bit. He said, you cats and you dudes, you cats and you women out in that free world, talk that talk out there until it's time to walk that walks, facing that life sentence. And he's got a point about that. It's easy to say what you could have, would have, and should have done in these situations. Because none of us is facing a life sentence or looking at, life in jail or either death penalty. Those some big stakes, a serious situation. So he might have a point there. But then maybe he doesn't. Because I remember the news report when this first happened. I've been following this story all the way throughout. Like, there isn't a moment or a turn in this story that I haven't even looked at. And according to, man, I had somebody reach out to me, and I ain't trying to give up no tea or nothing like that, because I ain't one of those channels. I talk about hip hop and, news cases and stuff like that. But somebody who's allegedly, KSOO's mom and one of Blue's Blue being KSOO's father, ex-chicks, hit me up, right? On social media, and basically was telling me that, prior to this, he had a reputation of his own of being a street dude, was out there in the streets heavy, allegedly. Now, I'm not saying he was. I don't know any of this as facts. This is somebody just hit me up willy-nilly and just give me all these details that might be true, it might not. But a lot of the things they said, you could trace back and look at court cases for, at least news articles and things for. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like, man, I don't know. Like, it's hard to hold somebody to that higher standard and expect them to show up for you in that situation when you were allegedly or might have been carrying on in a similar fashion. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Hopefully I didn't go over anybody's head is all I'm trying to say. But, man, this is wild. So we're not done there, right? So KSOO's dad allegedly responds with this post that was put on social media. And everybody was a little taken back by it. And they're like, man, this is crazy, man. Like, I don't, this still don't clear you in most people's mind of allegedly, you know, testifying on behalf of the state against your own son. You know, it just, I don't know. Something about that, it rubs people the wrong way. I'm not here to judge. Like, it doesn't move me or anything like that. Feel me? But KSOO's legal team, I should say, they wanted to respond about the situation, right? So there was a news article or a story, I should say, and it was put out by the News for Jacks there, which is, I think they're an NBC News affiliate, maybe not, in Jacksonville. And it says this in the headline. It says, father of Jacksonville rapper KSOO to testify against sons in murder cases. And let me not lose that point. He's not only testifying against KSOO. KSOO has a brother who allegedly goes by the name of Crazy K, rapper on his own right. He was on the run as well, and he had to turn himself in or whatnot, and he ended up getting caught, I think, actually. There was like an alert that went out, you know, that he was wanted. And it looks like the dad is testifying against both of them, you know what I'm saying? And I think both of their charges got bumped up to first-degree murder, so wow. Now, the story starts off by saying this. It says, Abdul Robinson Sr., who has been charged with being an accessory to murders of Charles McCormick, Damon Rothmel, has been transferred to St. Johns County Jail, court documents show. Now, he was in Duval County Jail with everybody until the news came out that he was testifying against KSOO and his brother in the trial on behalf of the state, allegedly, right? Then they had to move him to a new jail, and that's what they're referencing right here, right? They're just talking about the fact that they had to send him to a different jail after that news came out. Now, the story continues by saying, my bad. Let me take that. My bad. There you go. All right. Now, the story continues by saying this. It says, in filings this week, the state's attorney's office has informed his sons, Hakeem Robinson and Abdul Robinson Jr., his namesake, that their father is now cooperating with prosecutors and has given statements in the murders of Charles McCormick and Damon Rothmel. Inmates who cooperate with the prosecution are often transferred to other county jails for their safety. Hakeem Robinson, a Jacksonville rapper who's also known as KSOO, is charged in the 2020 murder of rival rapper Charles McCormick, a.k.a. Lil Buck. Rothmel was killed in 2019 by a stray bullet fired in an exchange of gunfire between two cars. In March, Hakeem Robinson was indicted on first-degree murder charges. So Hakeem Robinson being KSOO. Hakeem Robinson and Abdul Robinson Jr. remain in Duval County Jail awaiting trial. Abdul Robinson Sr.'s case has been set for a status conference on August 15th. So it looks like they're still waiting for a date, and their dad's date moved up. That's always a sign too. It seems like he's working out a deal for himself. I'm not saying that's facts, but it's what it seems like. Now, this is the good part. In a statement from attorney Chris DeCoste, who represents KSOO, reads this. Now, in quotes, it says, "This is yet another witness that came to them in handcuffs. We're not concerned." So this is lawyers saying in this first sentence, like, yo, these witnesses they've been bringing against KSOO have all been in handcuffs and all been people who have something to gain from testifying against him, right? Now, it also says, the government has repeatedly said how bad of a guy the father is. Now they present him as some pillar of truth. And that's another point that I was making. Like, they're saying, okay, they're bringing Blue in this and saying, all right, we're going to use him as an example to testify against his son. And to be real, that's crippling for their case. It looks bad. No matter what the lawyer's saying here, Your dad testifying against you in a court case? You think the jury doesn't take that into account and say, hold up, his dad is testifying against him too? Man, you know what I mean? Now, it continues by saying this. The lawyer DeCoste continued by saying, all their witnesses, convicted criminals that were pending prosecution, have motive to lie to save themselves. Meanwhile, we have the truth like the video and witnesses that prove that Mr. Robinson cannot be the shooter. That's why we're not concerned. So basically, through their legal team, KSOO's legal team, he's able to put out there that they're not concerned about this because they feel like all of the people who are testifying against KSOO are brought there because they're trying to better their own case. Now, I don't know if that makes a difference to a judge or a jury, but that's their stance on this so far. It just seems like something a lawyer would say, right? You know what I mean? And my bad for neglecting the chat, but yo, y'all don't neglect that like button, man. Make sure you hit that like button. We should have about 800 to 900 likes. So do your part if you can and make sure you run up them likes, man. So let's get to it. But man, with that, I want to end the whole KSOO thing on that, right? And actually not. I want to add one other part. This has become one of those cases that's definitely, highly visible in hip hop. I mean, on the highest levels of hip hop. You got people like even 50 Cent chiming in on this situation. And he did. He went to social media and said some things of his own. Now, 50 Cent went to social media and posted this right here. It says, this is just the headline, part of the headline from probably his cell phone where he saw this news story floating around, right? The same news story that was floating around a couple of days ago where it says, Jacksonville rapper KSOO's father will testify against his son in trial. Now, 50 Cent made a comment, and he did this. Pretty much what everybody did when they heard that headline or read that headline for the very first time. He put the staring side eye or the googly eyes, whatever you want to call it, and he said, dang it, man. I've seen it all now. You can't trust nobody. With his hands up, shrugging emoji. You know what I'm saying? Basically like, yo, I done seen it all now. Like this is, like we've seen some crazy things in hip hop recently, especially when it comes to these street dudes or alleged street dudes and all that, right? But somebody's dad testifying against him, you know what I'm saying? When he was allegedly a street dude as well, even 50 Cent was thrown back. So you talk about the highest level of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like star power as far as like being a superstar, 50 Cent, people are still chasing that type of fame. You know what I mean? His presence on social media is humongous. And even he felt the need to chime in on KSOO's case with his dad testifying against him. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? This is crazy. Even in the comments of that post that 50 Cent made, you saw Fat Joe, you saw a lot of people in the comments like, man, this is crazy. It's wild, man. You can't, at this point, you can't even make it up. You know what I'm saying? You can, like anything is possible. Kids, stay out of the streets. Leave that mess alone. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be a rapper, there's all sorts of subgenres of rappers. You ain't got to get into none of that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And we're going to leave that where it's at, right? So, all right, man, let's start with the KSOO thing, and let's talk about our very last topic for the day, man. Yeah? And I want to talk about this guy right here. My bad. This guy right here. Fredo Bang. You know what I mean? Now, Fredo Bang might be out here doing too much. I'm going to keep it real, bro. Because recently, he had a new video that he put out there, right? And in this video, he's allegedly going at NBA YoungBoy and them on the sneak diss type. You know what I'm saying? And when I say the sneak diss type, I'm talking about he's out here putting things in the music video that could anger NBA YoungBoy and his camp. Now, what am I talking about exactly? I'm talking about this. So let's bring that up, man. Here it goes. All right. So there's a story out there, and let me preface this, man. Let me preface this with, so NBA YoungBoy has a homeboy by the name of Ben 10, right? Now Ben 10, man, there's a lot of rumors about Ben 10. Now I don't want to feed any of that, you know what I'm saying? There's other rappers who have lost their lives and things. There's all sorts of stuff going on with Ben 10, right? He had got arrested recently and all that, right? But, he's one of NBA YoungBoy's riders, like for real, like down for him, 10 toes flat. And it looks like Fredo Bang felt the need to troll him through the use of his baby mama. And I ain't making this up. I'm talking about that's floating all over social media. Now, I don't know if this is his baby mom for a fact, but a young lady, and she looks fairly attractive, video model type. And there's a big point of that. She ended up being in Fredo Bang's video. Now, okay, some might be saying, oh, well, maybe she's just a video model. Ain't nothing. You talking about NBA YoungBoy's main guy, right? You talking about NBA YoungBoy's top dude, right? One of his top dudes, you know what I'm saying? Besides Herm and all the people we know commercially, right? And you have his baby mom in his direct ops music video? This is crazy. That's crazy, man. Now let's actually look at the one of the posts from social media that talked about this. So let's look at this, man. Check this out and rock with me, man. Oh, man, y'all bugging. Run them likes up, man. Run them likes up. We should be at 800 likes by now, man. Go ahead and hit that like button, but, man, we going to rock this out, man. Let's go. All right, so as you see here, it says Fredo Bang put NBA YoungBoy affiliate Ben 10's baby mother in his new music video. So they're saying that's the young lady right there, right? You see NBA YoungBoy and Ben 10 right there together on the other side. And, okay, putting her in the music video is one thing, right? Okay, she could be an extra or something like that. She's not affiliated. You know, it's just a young lady, right? She ain't worried about all that street stuff, right? But the fact that she's Fredo Bang's love interest in the video, I'm talking about he got his arm on her, all this other extra stuff. Bruh, what? Nah, man. And okay, let's be mature about this. Like, an adult mind or somebody who's mature about relationships and things like that, they'd be like, I don't care. Who cares about that? I'm not about to crash out over that. You know what I'm saying? But when it's your direct ops and there's been a lot back and forth, I'm talking about direct. Like, number one, ICU type of thing has happened in the past. That makes it for an ugly situation. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people think that Fredo Bang might be wilding out by doing this, bro. Like, really wilding out. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I'm hoping is that nothing crazy comes from this. Nothing positive can come from anything crazy happening or anything like that. But a lot of people are taking this as, yo, Fredo Bang out here wilding, man. Because Fredo Bang has a good following on his own. He has a lot of fans. His videos go through the roof. You know, he doesn't need to troll or do anything wild. And I don't know if we can consider this trolling, but this definitely seems like a sneak diss to NBA YoungBoy and his team over there, and especially to Ben 10, man. Crazy, man. Wild, man. Like, I'm not going to show the video because I don't want it taken down, but, you know, in the video, there's times where, like, he's, like, arms around, like, she's playing the love interest in the video. We'll say that much. You know what I'm saying? And that's allegedly his baby mom, man. Crazy, man. Crazy, crazy. Dang. And, man, I want to leave it at that, man. You know I like to keep these lives short, man. I like them 35 to 45 minutes or whatnot like that. And I love to show y'all love in the chat. But, man, y'all tell me in the comment section and y'all tell me in the chat or on our way out of here what y'all think about this whole Fredo Bang situation with NBA YoungBoy's homeboy, Ben 10's baby mama, man. It might have just been an innocent booking and he knows she does music videos. He might even okayed it and say, I knew she did that, man. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But fans are running wild with this one, and we almost need answers. We don't need them. We just want them. Now, with that, this has been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace. Yo, shout out to the chat and everybody that showed up for the show this week. Yo, do me a favor. If I ain't shout out your city this week, I'll hit it next week. And on your way out, make sure you run them likes up. I'm talking about run them up, man. We trying to get 1,000 likes like we got up in here. You know what I'm saying? Just on our way out. All right. Now with that, shout out to chat. And I appreciate everybody that showed up, man. We out of this thing. Peace.